I only watch Netflix what my wife recommends because that's that's her forte to discover the best content.
Yeah.
But personally, I'm more into YouTube and watching interviews.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of WP Legends. I'm Gautam, co founder of Seahawk Media, and today I'm joined by someone who's been redefining how we approach funnels and conversions in the WooCommerce world. Damanjeet Singh, the founder of FunnelKit. If you run a WooCommerce store and haven't explored FunnelKit yet, you're seriously missing out. From smart checkouts and upsells to automations and CRM tools, FunnelKit helps WordPress store owners build powerful, high converting funnels without needing a team of developers. I first connected with Damanjeet through the WP Beginner Growth Fund family, and it was clear right away he's not just a builder, he's a problem solver. His work sits at the intersection of marketing, design, and performance, and he's helping thousands of WooCommerce stores grow more efficiently. Daman also hails from the hometown of Delhi NCR Gurugram, and we have a lot of similar interests when it comes to the Indian food scene and beyond. Damanjeet, I'm thrilled to have you on. Let's start from the beginning. How did FunnelKit start? How did your journey begin?
So thank you, Gautam, first of all, for having me on this WP Legend podcast. It's great to talk to you, and what a lovely introduction. Um, FunnelKit started back as WooFunnels
Mhm.
in 2017. So 2017 was when we began experimenting and putting out some plugins. So we were not sure what we were doing, to be honest. So the only thing was that we were transitioning from being an agency to being a product company, and the whole idea was, okay, how can we replace 50% of our income from being from what we get at agency to and have it through products. And that's how simply we started. We identified WooCommerce as a great avenue simply because we were doing a lot of services on top of
It's
WooCommerce.
the gap you saw. It's the gap you saw, basically, right?
Absolutely. So a lot of people would come to us and say, "Hey, could you fix this on our checkout? Can we have a nicer thank you page? Can we add these upsells?" And a pattern began to emerge that okay, we need to create a solution around this use case. And learning from all those agency projects that we did, we launched what we called as Upstroke. So Upstroke was a simple one-click upsell plugin
Okay.
that was post-purchase plugin and that helped increase the average order value. And basically, that's how we started. When we launched,
Tell me about your first 5 or 10 customers, most interesting customers which come to your mind, which really
absolutely,
help you push through.
it's yeah, absolutely, it's a great story. So initially, we were not we didn't have the plan to build it as a product.
Okay.
So it came as a project to us to build something, and then we soon realized that there's a great opportunity over here to build it as a formal product.
Hmm.
Our first customer was the one who gave us this project as a service. So we are super thankful to him because then when we were building that up, I thought, okay, we could democratize this technology for masses because back then there were no great one-click upsell plugins that
True.
existed.
True.
So the client was like super helpful. He basically motivated us to build it as a product. So so we already had the first client before we even launched, right?
That's
And
pretty cool.
this client ran a small community of WooCommerce merchants, and he promised us that whenever we launch, we will he will give us a shout out. And when we launched, you would not believe, Gotham. In fact, our official launch happened is very close. We are now 7 years into this. It happened
Yeah.
on June. So on first day itself, we got like 18 sales.
Oh, wow.
And
That really gave
And
you the confidence to like, now, okay, I need to devote all my life to
absolutely.
this now. Huh?
Yeah, absolutely. So it was a phenomenal moment for us. Now that we look back and see our journey in the hindsight, it was that one pivotal moment that gave us all the confidence. So within few weeks, we closed all our agency projects, we handed it over to clients, and we started fully dedicating building this into
I
a
wish
much
we
bigger
knew.
thing.
I wish we knew each other at that time. I would have taken over all those agency projects. Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a valid call.
yeah.
Um,
But
but we
I think you
were
did the right thing. I think you did the right thing. But tell me something, considering what's happening now with WooCommerce, FunnelKit, your business, etc. What kind of businesses are getting like the maximum benefits? Is it any kind of e-commerce stores? Is it fashion, jewelry? What do you think? Like,
Yeah, absolutely. The core concepts of increasing conversions remain the same, be it any niche.
mhm.
So we have like a huge variety of stores, and some stores that are some of the use cases that we or industries that we hadn't even heard of back then. So the basic concept of having the product discovery, showing right products at the right time, having a great checkout experience, and then
Mhm.
having great follow-ups. Be it any industry, the fundamentals remain the same. In
Okay,
fact, one of our core belief at FunnelKit is that we want to help merchants grow profitably,
of course.
and we want to be their partner as they're growing up in their growth journey.
That's pretty
So
cool.
a lot of come and ask us, "Hey, I'm just beginning my set up my store. Is FunnelKit right?" And we are like, "Yeah, absolutely." Because imagine the experience of first customer that is going through your checkout process, and if that experience could be enhanced, you could and have more product discovery, you will be starting your store on a very strong note. So in fact, yeah, so a lot of people have these misconceptions that the concept of upsellings and having a great experience would only start once they reach a certain scale. But the fact is that to reach that certain scale, you have to optimize the experience
True.
first, and that
Are
uh,
you
you
are you
know
doing anything with respect to AI advancements with the way things are happening? Nowadays, there are so many page builders, you just give some commands like, and within 5 minutes your website is ready, etc. Are you think is going to be advantages for you? Are you going to be using, maybe are you about to release something with AI or something like that?
So we have our whole marketing automation suite,
Okay,
and we are building some features with AI over there.
cool.
To be honest, at FunnelKit, we have been a bit conservative
Okay,
on our approach with AI because we also believe in putting like resources to the maximum possible use.
true.
So as the AI wave evolves, definitely we have great plans to integrate AI throughout the products, but we also are first looking at this from a point of view to see what are those extraordinary use cases
Hmm.
that customer feels would add value to this. So we just don't want to add AI for the sake of adding AI. We
Hmm.
want to go deep down. And honestly, as merchants become more aware, as there are more use cases that open up, there is a lot of possibility of AI in this. So I could just drop a hint that in the email building segment of our product,
Okay.
we are, you know, going to have
Going
some AI.
about to do something
Yeah,
interesting, huh?
yeah,
That's pretty cool.
absolutely.
I have a
Yeah.
very interesting question for you now. And this is a question which I ask everybody or on a similar note, okay? Where do you
Okay.
see WordPress and WooCommerce future in the next 5 years? Not three, not two, not 10, just 5 years. Look at what's
Yeah.
happening with Lovable. Look at what's happening with the other technologies coming up. Just give a command, website is ready, Framer, then Wix is doing AI, Shopify. I know is Shopify. Everybody uses Shopify for e-commerce space. You have
Yeah.
a plugin, very well known, very well respected plugin used by hundreds of thousands of people globally, and
Yeah.
it's targeted at people who are using WordPress and WooCommerce. So, what do you think is the future for WordPress for the next 5 years, especially?
So if we see uh, we are not seeing slowdown in demand
Okay,
for either
that's good to know.
WordPress, WooCommerce, or e-commerce.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Shopify is a formidable challenge,
Mm-hmm.
and there are great things to be learned from them. Uh, the kind of the product they build, the kind of features they build, the way they market specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So I do feel like we need to learn a lot from them, but this does not mean that there is no growth opportunity in WordPress and WooCommerce space. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, with of AI, the opportunity is only going to increase simply because AI knows WooCommerce, their code base at the back of their hand, and the kind of the plugins one can generate now with AI. I still don't think it's possible with Shopify simply because of a very closed ecosystem.
That's true.
So,
They will control it.
so
They will control it
yeah.
a lot. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So with combine AI with WooCommerce flexible architecture, I think it's a killer combination, and we are only seeing growth from
I'm
right
very
now.
bullish on WordPress and WooCommerce also. Say 40% of this internet. And we at Seahawk Media come across websites every single day which are dated, which are very old, 2010, 2013. We're getting a lot of requests for Drupal to WordPress, Joomla to WordPress, other technologies, Typo 3, whatever to WordPress, custom built to WordPress. So I'm super duper bullish on WordPress. And I think it's only going to be very, very exciting when it comes to the WooCommerce WordPress ecosystem. It's only going to become better. And I think, and I say this all the time, and I love this statement, competition breeds innovation. So obviously,
Absolutely.
if WooCommerce is competing with Shopify, which it is, they're going to be innovating in both ways. It's only going to become better and better. It's going to push us it's going to push everybody involved in the WordPress space even more, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you see some of the recent updates of WooCommerce, they have like given a fresh dose of energy back into the development. You
Hmm.
could, I'm continuously following their developer blog, and the kind of communication that is coming out from WooCommerce is amazing. So, hats off to the whole team who are like constantly at it with the changing environment
True.
and continuously
I
innovating.
have I have another interesting question discussion for you actually. So we got an order recently for a jeweler who has about 20-30,000 products who wants to build his website from some bring his website from some other technology into WooCommerce, and he
Right.
said like whenever I speak with other agencies, companies, etc., like we already secured this order, and his concern was with respect to hosting. Okay, and we figured it out with that. My question for you is, do you come across support tickets, a sector where you see challenges with respect to WordPress hosting? Because I know with WooCommerce stores, cannot be supported well if it's a shared hosting or a managed WordPress hosting, etc. So tell me about that. What have you seen?
So we are seeing like there are a whole array of hosting solutions in WordPress and WooCommerce space, which are
Hmm.
doing absolutely great job.
Hmm.
So we have like we see people on Hostinger,
Hmm.
somewhere people on Kinsta or
Hmm.
Pressable,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we see a whole spectrum. And to be honest, like WordPress hosting companies are doing a commendable job of having an open source software with so many plugins
True.
and ecosystem so wide. Sure, we do get run into sometimes some of the issues, but these are mostly related to clients' usage or
Okay.
something that requires a bit of tweaking.
Hmm.
To answer your question, yes, of course, hosting plays a big role,
Hmm.
but there is a lot of competition in hosting space as well.
Now it is. Yes.
So,
Massive.
so they are that layer of ecosystem is also innovating really fast. So, in short, like if one needs to compete with Shopify,
Hmm.
one needs a great setup, and
Hmm.
hosting is an important part of it.
Yeah.
And I believe that everybody understands that
Hmm.
that once we lose a merchant from, let's say, WordPress, WooCommerce to Shopify, the whole ecosystem loses. So, right from host to plugin providers like us to service providers like you. So,
Of
definitely,
course.
I believe like everybody is playing their part and keeping that
True.
customer.
Any challenges you're facing in your company, human resources, engineers, code, anything like that? Any challenges? Obviously,
I think,
every business has challenges, of course. What
of
about you?
course, 100%, 100%. There are, with so many, different plugins that come in, support for WooCommerce products tends to be a lot higher than, let's say, some of
True.
the plugins, right? There's a wide variety of ecosystem and use cases that needs to be powered. So the support needs to be aligned in a way that they understand this reality, right?
True.
And it's always challenging to support customers with so many different variety of use cases.
Ah,
But having said that, we are blessed to have a great team
okay.
and who understands all these nuances, and we keep on like having those conversations time and again as to why, for example, it's so common to have, hey, this is a third party plugin issue, right? And how do
True.
you deal with this specific challenge? Now, if you just say, hey, please approach that author, that's not a good approach. So how do
Yeah,
you
that's not a good.
specifically? So we keep on doing that. As far as challenges, of course, there are. If you see from customer delivery point of view, there are always challenges that come up. But we feel like we have a pretty solid handle on that. That is why, like, if you look at our ratings across WordPress plugins, you will find them very highly rated.
Yeah, they're
And
pretty
it's
good. Yeah.
yeah, great process. Um, Specifically now, the real challenge in the organization, which I feel is that how do we uh, take advantage of AI to
Hmm.
increase activity,
Hmm.
specifically when there are new things coming up on regular basis. Like few months back, people were talking about Chat GPT and they were generating code snippets from that. But now Cursor comes in and they completely change the whole paradigm of development. And then
True.
something else. So how do you keep up with that pace of innovation that is
Oh,
happening
unbelievable.
and continuously update the processes? I think that's where the real challenge is, and that's what we are trying to figure out right now.
It is unbelievable what Google released over the weekend. I'm like completely shocked with what they're doing. It's pretty good actually. No, you can't even make out. Have you seen that
Yeah,
Instagram video where AI is fighting with AI and you don't even know? You know, it's
yeah,
unbelievable.
absolutely.
It's unbelievable what's happening. And you're right, like it's pretty hard even at Seahawk Media to keep up with the, AI and figure out AI agents and whatnot, etc. So coming to about this, what kind of SaaS, what is your SaaS stack at FunnelKit? I know Slack is one, you use Slack, Google Hangouts, etc. But are there any project management tools you're using, etc.?
Yeah, so we keep it like really simple. Slack
Hmm.
is, of course, for communication. Then we use GitHub extensively,
Okay.
and we utilize GitHub projects
Okay.
for because their projects have also evolved. We
Okay.
used to have tools back in the day, but what we have started, what we realized was like the more the tools, the more the integrations, the more the processes, and it always added a lot of overhead. So one of our themes last year was how do we simplify everything? How do we, cut short all the excessive software? How do we cut short all the excessive processes that have been built up over last 7 years? And my one realization was like to keep it super simple.
Mhm.
Uh, because we have a hybrid structure where some team members are remote and some work from our offices at New Delhi. So that becomes a challenge. So you need to align for the expectations of both. But we like to keep it super simple. Slack,
How big is your team
GitHub.
now? How big is your team roughly now?
So right now we are close to 23 people, 23
Okay.
people team.
Well,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Uh,
That's commendable that with such a lean team, you're able to manage such a nice big operation. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of our main focus areas. Like we need to ensure that we are playing this sport as a world-class team, and that is where we cannot afford to have a lot of excessive layers of people. We want to keep it like really simple and tight and play it as a really lean team.
That's pretty cool. And are you going to any events like WordCamp, or I know we are meeting at the WP Beginner Growth Fund for sure. We'll be over there, but any other events, any domain event or something like that, any e-commerce events? Do you like anything?
Not at the moment. I'm not visiting any WordPress events, but I'm not sure, Gautam, if you are aware, but like our local scene here in Gurgaon with respect to AI is booming,
Of
and there's a
course.
lot of meetups happening, like a lot of meetups happening. There's a great energy which is being developed in this part of New Delhi. So I keep on
Yeah,
putting a
Gurugram
lot
is
of,
pretty big. Like I know my whole family is from Gurugram also. So like yeah,
yeah,
definitely. I've there's so
absolutely.
many. We actually work with a lot of UI UX agencies over there who actually don't have a development arm, and our team is their development arm. So it's like on a white label basis, of course, but we do a lot of work with them. Yeah, yeah, you are absolutely right. It's booming, and people are ready to pay good money for good quality, which is pretty good. The
Yeah,
scene in India definitely is
absolutely.
picking up in that way.
It's,
On a personal note, any podcast, any Netflix shows which you're watching recently, which is exciting for you? I hate to say this, but the recent Hindi Bollywood movies on Netflix is something which is completely out of. I can't watch Salman Khan movies anymore. 100% decided.
same
Blair
with me.
Blair Williams from Member Press recommended me a Joe Rogan podcast the other day about Egypt, and I listened, the Egyptian. So anything like that, anything which excites you?
Yeah, absolutely. There are a couple of themes that I'm like recently into.
Okay.
One of the podcasters like which keeps on discovering new business ideas. My First Million.
Okay.
That's a great podcast, and I recommend every entrepreneur to follow that.
Hmm.
Then there are a lot of niche YouTube channels that
Hmm.
I've subscribed to.
Okay.
They are phenomenal. Sometimes they are, having a mix of Hindi and English content,
Hmm.
and but they are amazing at what they do, run by seasoned entrepreneurs. One of the channels which I'm recently started following was Asymmetric Podcast.
Okay.
Like,
I've
if
heard
you
of
want
it.
to understand India, Bharat, and if you want to build something over here, and even if you want to get some insights about the human behavior, about India and why it's such a difficult market to crack, like anybody who's trying to build from outside and build for India or have a team in India, I really recommend that kind of podcast because it like opens up all those nuances, the cultural nuances, the behavioral patterns. So yeah, and a lot of stuff like that. I'm like subscribed to more than 100 YouTube channels. So actually, to be honest, I only watch Netflix what my wife recommends because that's that's her forte to discover the best content.
Yeah.
But personally, I'm more into YouTube and watching these channels.
Gotcha. A fun question for you, and this I ask everybody, okay? $100 million in your bank tomorrow, no questions asked. What's the first thing you will do?
Oh wow!
Retire, take a
I
vacation,
think
buy farmland, buy,
so. So first thing I'll do is, of course, tell my family,
of course.
and of course, right? That's amazing question. I haven't thought through this, but I would do something where there's a lot of social and economic impact.
Okay.
Say, for example, with this new wave of AI,
Mhm.
um, we are seeing some amazing use cases which are being built here locally, and amazing transformations which are happening. I'll give you one example. Like, there's someone in our team who is not great with English,
Mm.
let's say.
Mm-hmm.
But with now having open access to
Oh, I know.
ChatGPT,
Mm.
you know, they are able to communicate in a way that other person cannot make out, like that the person doesn't know English, right? So when I saw this use case internally, and it happened by chance, uh, I was like, hey, there's a lot of opportunity to create a social economic impact at this moment, just because there's like the kind of education systems we have over here. If someone could come in and build something for these folks, not only it elevates their social level, but also creates a economic impact. So if you give me $100 million, I have certain ideas. I'm definitely going to
So
try those
you
ideas.
don't want to retire. You want to continue to be an entrepreneur, continue to
Yeah,
work. That's what I
yeah,
was
continue
getting.
to work, but then it would be continue to work in a way that creates more social impact.
I like that. I really like that. We're just coming up on
Basically,
time.
basically, as I tell my family, I'm a developer, but I'm basically a farmer at heart. So I'll so I know there are different ways to put it in Hindi, but
I
yeah,
know.
but if given that amount of money, I'll definitely build something for a greater social impact over it.
That's great to know. We're coming up on time, Damanji. Thank you so much for being here. Where can our listeners find you online? Are you on X.com, Instagram? Where can they connect with you? Through your website? Is
So,
that the
I'm-
best
so
way?
I'm available on LinkedIn. If
Okay.
you search for Jeet Funnel Kit, of course, you are going to find my profile.
Of course.
I'm also available on Twitter
Mhm.
as DJeet,
Mhm.
and you could also connect with me over there. And of course, anytime you just put in a support request and say, "Hey, I want to connect with Daman," you will 100% connect with me.
That's good to know. Happy compulsive workaholic. That's the word I use for myself, and I know you in person. I've met you in person. I know you are too.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned in the introduction, everybody, that Damanjeet and I not only share our common interest, we're not from the same city. We obviously like the
Yeah.
same kind of food, etc. But at the end of the day, the way we can vibe and jam together, because is pretty unexplainable and pretty rock solid. Damanjeet, thank you
Absolutely.
for being on WP Legends, and I'll catch you very soon. I believe we have meeting in September first week.
September.
Not
Yeah.
unless I make it to India in July. I might be there in soon. So I'll catch you very, very soon. Thank you for being on the show. Bye for
Thank you
now.
for having me. Thank you.